Yeah, Jimmy, we're doing well over here. We've been watching the show every day, and we heard she's going to have a big announcement tomorrow. She's played at our parish church before. She's been on the piano. Give her our best, and tell Gaga we're looking forward to hearing from her. All right, you stay safe too. Happy Easter, Jimmy Fallon. Oh, hello. Welcome back to our third episode in our Forced Family Fun. Toolkit for Faith, the Family Faith Formation. First week, we talked about setting up a space for God in our homes with our toolkit. In our second week, we added some words, some prayers to that official conversation with God. And now here in our third week, we're going to add some small statues and icons, hopefully to further the atmosphere in our toolkit. The practice of using images to aid in worship isn't a new one. We know that God commanded Moses to place cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant. But God was also clear. These images are a way of aiding us in our worship of God, not taking the place of God. Those who worship statues in place of God have always been known as idolaters. God forbade the worship of statues, but God did not forbid the religious use of statues. If used properly, these statues and images can help to further strengthen our relationship with God. One example of this practice can be seen in St. Peter's Basilica, where we find Michelangelo's statue of the Pietà. This highly realistic statue depicts that tender moment between the Virgin Mary and her son Jesus following his crucifixion. Standing before this statue, it is difficult not to be caught up in the emotion of the moment on both the religious level and the personal level. If you stand here long enough, you will undoubtedly encounter people who fall deep into prayer at the sight of this image. Perhaps they are praying in thanks for Jesus' sacrifice. They may be praying for Mary, who's watched her son suffer and die on the cross. They may be praying for themselves for some suffering or hardship they've endured, or for the suffering of others in their lives or around the world. Whatever the encounter, the worshipers are using the statue to turn their emotions into prayers, another method for strengthening our relationship with God. If we remember our history lessons, we know that stained glass windows, paintings, and statues were also used to help those who couldn't read learn their stories from the Bible. The lives of the saints were taught through these methods as well. In our parish church, we have many statues, including several of our patron, St. Pius X, who is most notable for lowering the age of communion so that young people could welcome Jesus Christ into themselves. He's also the church leader who proclaimed and created religious formation classes for the wealth of our young people's knowledge. So what kinds of images do you have at home to add to your toolkit? Working at a church, you might imagine that I've acquired a good deal of these worship aids from my own personal travels, gifts from my friends and former students, some even bequeathed to me from colleagues who have passed on. As you can see, these worship aids include icons, small statues, and even some of the most unique nativity sets. At one time or another, each of these items has helped me strengthen my prayer with God. Don't have any of these objects of adoration at home? Well, now's the time to make some. You can always sketch. You can try painting, coloring. Think you don't have any of the right materials? How about some pipe cleaners and beads? Those are simple. How about some shells, breaking them up, using some glue to create a cross or an ichthus? Maybe you have some mosaic tiles. How about just a few stones from the yard? This seems like an ideal time for some old clay or Play-Doh. Maybe you even have some old Legos. Anything to make your art and your prayer three-dimensional for Christ. We thank you for joining us in our third episode of our Toolkit for Faith Family Formation Series. We hope that you found this video fun and informative, and it improved your prayer life a little. We look forward to seeing you next week when we look to add some light to our toolkit. Until then, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to enjoy our other videos on music and youth ministry, and Find us on Facebook, where you can sign into our live stream for all of our Holy Week and Easter events. God bless, stay safe, and please, someone send me a hat because I really need a haircut. Bella, are you sure you've done this before?
Yeah, I do it all the time.